Welcome to Politics for Thinkers.
Welcome to a new edition of the show. I'm your host, Jennifer Barreto Leiva, and I'm very happy to have you here today. I would like to apologize with every one of you. Last week, we didn't have any edition of the show. As you can see, I'm under the weather with the flu. Don't panic, everybody has it. Is another flu. Don't fall for the trap again. The lesson has been learned, so don't fall for that. Conservatives are going through a very interesting moment in politics, and someone have learned the have understand the momentum they are having in politics. Today, we are going to be talking with the founder of the International Conservative Leadership Council. Let me introduce you my guests of this week. Luis Figueroa is a strategic advisor deeply engaged in the oil and gas sector and is building a multifaceted professional platform. He serves as the national and Florida vice chairman as the Republican National Hispanic Assembly and as the chairman of the International Conservative Council, a 501c4 organization based in Florida, media surrogate for the Donald Trump presidential campaigns in 2020 and 2024. Luis has guided media strategy and political outreach for energy industry stakeholders and Hispanic Latino communities across the USA. In addition to his nonprofit and political engagements, Luis leads a real estate advisory firm and an international political consulting practice, enabling enabling him to navigate large-scale capital deployment and complex stakeholder ecosystems. He completed a doctor of business administration in entrepreneurship, reinforcing his commitment to innovation, leadership, and global business transformation. Welcome, Luis. Thank you so much for being here today in the show with me.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and the invitation, and it's a pleasure being here with you.
I'm very happy to know that you have created this council. How you came out with this idea? How this project was born in your head?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and basically, you mentioned that I was part of the media surrogate for the campaign for the Trump campaign in 2020 and 2024, and being so close to the campaign, I realized that we needed to create some sort of council, some sort of assembly, some sort of gathering to bring in conservative from Latin America, especially, and leaders from other parts of Latin America in order to grow our movement. So it basically came to be because we have CPAC on one side, which is it's a huge organization, it's a huge events, and we have an underserved market in Latin America, and that's what our target is essentially right now.
Yeah. Speaking about CPAC, you're going to be in the CPAC Puerto Rico. It's the first time we will have in Puerto Rico such an event. What are your expectations towards this? You are considering once you have a little bit of more time to create this type of events with your council?
Yeah. So CPAC, this is my second participation, participating as a speaker. It's a great platform. It's the best that it is right now in the conservative movement. And yes, of course, in the International Conservative Leadership Council, we are starting with a forum in Guatemala, May 30. It's going to be our flagship forum. The name is Nation Rising, and it's mainly focused on public policy. So we are going to talk about security in the region, free market. We are going to talk about emerging leaders and the next generation. And also we are going to talk about what is next for the council. So we are going to have 4 panels. We are going to have great speakers. A lot of congressmen from Guatemala, Honduras, and Costa Rica are going to be there. Ministers are also going to be there. So it is going to be a very intimate event. Anywhere from 80 to 100 people are only going to be able to attend the event, this first event. And we want to make something unique, something special that we can bring in real solutions to the real problems that the Central America government has. So that's why we chose to have this intimate setting. The next event will most likely be in the Dominican Republic. We're still looking into some dates, but most likely it's going to be anywhere from August to September. So stay tuned. The page for the event is iclcnationsrising.com.
And the website will be in the info box of the show, and of course, all these events we will promote it in our social media as well. How
Thank
do
you.
you pick the people that we will work with you in this project?
That's a great question. So so far we have 14 countries, 12 countries in Latin America and 2 countries in Europe. The first thing that I look for someone is they have to be aligned with the conservative values, and they have to be able to work in a team environment. We are not looking for egotistic
Mm.
people that they think that everything is surrounded themselves. And essentially, in on our pages, I'm not even there most of the time. Most of the time are my people, my directors. They are the one protagonizing all of the initiatives that we do. Let me give you an example. This past weekend, I was in Honduras, and we were doing a medical brigade there. So basically, we came out with the idea, and our deputy director there, she's a medical doctor, and she worked for the government. And with our deputy director and our director, we were able to bring in 1,000 people plus 94 doctors to take care of the people of the community. They were the protagonists. They were the guys in charge. I was there just as a cameraman, basically, happy for them because they saw the platform and they were able to create something bigger. So the what we look in people is that they have this grow mentality, because I'm an entrepreneur. I look for grow mentality, this mentality of also learning. We don't know everything, and they are good working in teams. Those are the essential qualities. Obviously, there are some questions that I ask that are my own criteria when I'm looking for someone to represent the organization. I'm very cautious of who I bring in and what type of people I want in this organization. I'm not building something for 5 years. I'm building something for the next 100 years. So I have to be very careful picking and choosing people to come into the organization.
I love to hear that. And I have to be honest with you, it's the first time I hear someone speaking this way when it comes to an organization, because in politics it's pretty normal to have people looking forward to create a persona with the ego, a very with a very big ego, trying to create a me organization. And it's the first time I hear someone saying this is a we organization, we all going to work no matter what, no matter how, and this is not about me, this is about us and the future. So I love to hear what you're saying. On the website of the council, I found out that you have some levels. Can you please explain us how this is working out for you?
Which level are you referring to?
They have different levels. I've
the
read.
directors, and
Yeah,
you're talking about leadership.
yeah.
So yes, it's very simple. In Florida, we have the international or the global council. That's basically me, and some other people that we are in Florida, that we are the general advisors and leaders of the organization. Below that, below ourselves, is the regional leaders. So I have a regional leader in Central America, I have a regional leader in South America, and I have a regional leader in Europe. Below the regional leaders are the country directors.
Mm,
The country directors are in charge of policies, education, partnership of the specific country. Below the country director is the deputy country director, basically like a sub president, vice president, if you want to call it like that. And basically, their job is to assist the country director with all of the initiative and all of the things that we are working on. Below the country, the deputy director, we are going to have advisors for different kind of situations. Advisors for security, advisors for economy, advisors for energy, advisors for free markets. So we are probably going to have 3 to 4 more people below that deputy director in order to have a very bulk impact on the policies.
okay, okay. You just mentioned Dominican Republic, and it came to my mind something that has been. I'm kind of worried about this. For those who doesn't know, there is a they are about to promote a law that regulates freedom of speech, and that's a very serious thing. We as conservative has been fighting since day one for all kind of freedom. Um, this is a threat to freedom of speech. Let's be clear. Uh, how do you think we can fight with this in a very wise way? How can we? I mean, there is a lot of violence. There is a lot of inflammatory language. We are not able to answer this. This is not part of our mindset. How can we fight towards this issue without creating another issue? It's a very serious threat to freedom of speech.
I'm glad that you asked that question, because if you go to the website and you search under the policy, you're going to find a policy report, a very extensive, 9, 10 pages that we created about this exact same topic. And we also created a news article, which is also on the website. You can go iclcnetwork.org/article or/policy to read more about the background of the law, which is the penal code. They just updated because they haven't updated the penal code since the 80s, I believe. So essentially, let me explain very quickly. What is going to mean is, if if you do defamation, if you have a platform and you defame someone, before it was a civil penalty. Now with this new code that is going to be entering in August, so people have 2 or 3 months still to fight this. It's gonna become law in August, or it's gonna take effect in August. Actually, I should say. For defamation, it will have a penalty of 1 to 3 years in jail. If you're recurring, 5 to more years. If you keep doing it, it will be up to 60 years. So imagine someone like Santiago Matias, which is a friend of mine. He has millions and millions and millions of followers. Imagine someone like him saying something about a politician that they don't like. They basically can take his freedom away. So the people in the Dominican Republic, the influencers, Senator Omar Fernandez, and other leaders are actually working hard to mitigate this effect. What the people are saying is, hey, let's bring back the law to the Senate and to the House. Let's revise it and let's have the defamation as a civil penalty. Obviously, there's levels of defamation, and we all know that some people they just do it unintentionally, and some people they do it with a lot of intention. So it has to be a way for, in order to preserve the freedom of speech and protect the citizens. So they are the ones that are going to have to revise, and also the College of Lawyers in the Dominican Republic are also working on the revisions, because freedom of speech is a stake. It's at stake here, and it's very important that the people take notice on that. If you want to read the background, the full background of the story, go and read the policy report. It's very extended, and it's going to explain what is actually happening there.
I was freaked out when I read the whole thing. I mean, it's way too severe, the
Yeah,
penalties. So wow, and Santiago will be in jail forever if the law is a reality. You
yeah,
know,
that's true. That's true.
my goodness. Um, the left have people just as George Soros, who is financially supporting them, all these Marxist movements. On the other hand, we have the conservatives. Everything we do is self founded. We financiate everything. How can a movement maybe stay strong and still with these unfair conditions that we have nowadays?
It is an unfair condition, but our message is stronger. So you're 100% right. Even my organization is self-funded. Thank God that I have the resources to do this. Um, in the conservative movement, unfortunately, we do not have committed billionaires like Soros just throwing money away on all the initiative. I remember one of the candidates in Florida got a couple millions of dollars just because they were radical left. Um, so my message for everyone that is wanting to build something, a nonprofit for conservative values, or for the right movement or center right, whatever your case might be, is don't get discouraged. Still build the movement. Still talk to the people, because you never know who are you impacting. Even if you only impact one person, it worth everything. Just one life, and that effect will multiply at the end of the day, and we will have a bigger movement. So don't be afraid of not having the money or the resources to start something. You can start something like what we're doing here, just online. Grab your phone, record yourself, do it, and you're going to be surprised. A lot of people will share your content. A lot of people will have the same mentality that you have, and you all going to come together eventually. But what is important, and what I want to mention, Jennifer, is what we have in the conservative movement is a lot of gatekeepers instead of a lot of leaders. It's a lot of gatekeepers with personal egos, with personal agendas, with I am the cheche, I am the number one, and nobody else can be on top but me. That is something that we have to work on. Very, very. We have to take that with pinzas. We have to be very careful giving these small people with small agendas big plans. Um, uh, a lot of cases, a lot of cases, conservative leaders blocking the entrance and blocking somebody else because they don't think the way that they think. That is not the way that we grow our movement. Our movement grows by inviting to the table people that think like us. We might not think the same exact way. We are not going to be 100%. We are not going to be 100% together on all the issues. That's impossible. Not even
Yeah.
God was 100% straight with all of the disciples. So how can we be 100% with everything? No, that is not impossible. So there is people that they think that they're so entitled to this conservative label or this Republican label, and they're not allowing other people to come into the movement. That is wrong, and that's what we are opening doors for. Conservative leaders that might not be Tea Party or the super extreme right wing conservative, but they still believe in the freedom of speech, in the freedom of market, in traditional values, in small government. And at the end of the day, if they do have one or two policies that are a little bit more socialist, like giving more help to people, or Medicare plans, I mean, we can sit down and work together. We have lost the ability of sitting down, talking to our differences, and come to an agreement for the better of the public. That is what this movement is all about. Do not gatekeep, because when you gatekeep, we know that you're doing this for yourself, for your own ego, and not for the benefit of the public. So that's my message to all of the future leaders that are trying to build an organization, is opening doors for somebody else.
Can't agree more. And that's one of the reasons I've created this show, because I was tired of name calling, gossiping, the egos. And I was like, no, I have to do something. So you're right. It began with, even if there is just one person following you.
Yep.
How do you feel with the fact that Marco Rubio can be our future president?
If you go to LatinosAmericans4Rubio.com, that's my page. So
I
I'm
know.
100% with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I think it will be the greatest president after Trump. He and you see how Trump prepare him or assign him with the difficult tasks. I think President Trump is preparing Marco Rubio to run for president. I think eventually Marco is going to be so far ahead on the polls that all of the other candidates will still run. We live in a democracy, but he will be so far ahead in the polls that um, they can fight for the second place for the vice presidency. But obviously, Vice President Vance is a great guy. I also like him. Governor Ron DeSantis, I'm hearing more and more that he wants to run again. Also, a great governor. I think that's American governor. That's the America governor. And some other candidates that probably we will have, but essentially the last polling is Marco Rubio against AOC, which is going to be historic for the Latinos and Hispanic. Doesn't matter if you're in the right or the left, it's going to be historic because we probably will have two Hispanic candidates running for the higher office. So it has to you have to feel proud of that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that Marco Rubio is the possible appointee for that position, because what the expert has been talking about since about 20 years ago, that a Latino we will run for the White House in 2026, 28, sorry, and they had a Democrat as an appointee. So I'm glad things have changed, and we have a Republican as a strong possibility in the White House, and is a reason for all of us to be proud. Last but not least,
Something
Luis,
something
the
something
Latino, the yes,
something to clear up. The This is not an appointment, very clear for people to understand. This is not an appointment. This will be a primary, and whoever's win the primary will be the candidate for the party, either party. We are not the Democrats that they do appoint people to run, like what happened
Yeah.
with Kamala. They appointed her to run. In the Republican Party, we believe in primaries. So, interesting point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The Hispanic community made an interesting shift in the past election. We helped to win many of the chairs that are now in the Republican side. We were a tremendous help for the President Trump to win. We uh, had a different way of voting. Latinos, for those who doesn't know, normally vote Democrat. This time we vote Republican. The economy was a disaster. There was a lot of indoctrination. The men occupying places of women was another factor, and everything have changed. Do you think for the midterms, things are going to change? Do you think our community has learned how to vote finally?
The Hispanic community vote on issues. We are not a voting bloc that are either or side. We are more issue specific voting bloc. Um, and to be honest, there is a lot of things hurting the Hispanic community right now. Unfortunately, the gas prices, the inflation still is still up there, and the messaging that the PR portion of the immigration rates has been very crucial to achieve a lot of people into voting for
Yes,
into the intention of voting for the other party. We still
yes,
have 6 months, plus or minus 6 months, to fix a lot of things. Um, we have to invest in the Hispanic community. There's no other way around. The Republican Party have to invest money in the Hispanic community. One example that I want to give you is in Florida, the race for governor is very sad to see the main candidates, Byron Donalds, Jay Collins, Paul Renner, the other guy, Fisher,
uh-huh.
not engaging at the level they should be engaging with the Hispanic community. The other day, Byron Donald did an ad. They tried to do it in Spanish, and the grammar was wrong.
Wow.
I mean, it's just those simple things. I know for a fact that Jay Collins has someone that is running the Hispanic side. I did interview Paul Renner a couple weeks ago. He speaks fluent Spanish because his wife is from Colombia, so he's very
Okay.
in tune with the Hispanic community. Unfortunately, the numbers um, are Byron Donalds is way above everybody else in the numbers. Um, and what I tell the candidate is, we are 30% of the state. You have to get it right with 30% of the state. We are 5 million people living in Florida that we vote, that we care. And it's not like you pamper to the Hispanic community. It's not that. Because the Hispanic, we build businesses. We are the backbone of the economy. In most
Mhm.
of the industry, we are the backbones for the economy, either from the most the technical jobs, the entrepreneur's job, the more senior job we have. In every single level of the ladder, we have a Hispanic, we have people there. So taking into consideration the Hispanic, investing in the community, There's not only you have to have someone that speaks Spanish in your campaign. No, you have
Mhm.
to invest in the community. That's what the Democrats do, and they're able to get the votes. It's very simple. If they follow what Senator Rick Scott do, he is the perfect blueprint on how to deal with the Hispanic voters. He's just great with the Hispanics.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have people that it seems that they don't care.
Mm. This could affect them. It's not a very wise position. This could affect them. This large number
Jennifer,
of voters can help them.
Jennifer, in politics, you run the numbers, and if you can, this is everything about probabilities and statistics. If you took that class in school, you know that the, out of the 5 million people, you're only gonna get 15%. Out of the 15%, the likelihood of the voters are X. So if they ran the numbers and they think that we're not important, it's just for them we don't make sense. Unfortunately, that's the ugly truth. I mean, we can fantasize here about everything, but campaign strategists, this is what they do. They run numbers, and if they don't care about a certain group or a certain issue, they just don't promote it. That's a
Wow.
reality.
So there is a strong message underneath. Wow. Thank you so much, Luis, for being with me today. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to have you here anytime soon to discuss any other topics.
Thank you so much.
Remember to follow us in our social media and every platform. You can find us as Politics for Thinkers. Also, you have our website, politicsforthinkers.com, where you can find my weekly column, opinion column about different issues in politics. And whatever you need to know about me, about the show, how to reach me, our social media, anything you need to know about the show is there. So thank you for being with us this week, and see you in 7 days. In another week, we have a date. Every Friday, new faces, free thinking. See you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching Politics